on offense right now. Still continuing to go against that man-to-man defense right now with Montana. They ran that zone momentarily back in the second quarter, but they're sticking back to their man defense now.
Ryan Bailey tries a low left-handed shot that's pushed wide of the goal, but backing it up on the end line is Tony Satter, the freshman from Minnesota.
St. John's might need to get a little more movement in their offense right now. They're kind of doing a little bit of, one guy dodge and five guys watch type look right now. Need to involve the rest of the guys right now. That way they can get the defense to slide more, overcommit, things like that. But right now it's sort of isolating and not involving each other right now in their offense for St. John's.
Ball's checked out of Tony Satter's stick by the Montana defense, and they try to get the loose ball, but it's knocked out of bounds there by Elliot Buckholes, the freshman defenseman for Montana from St. Mary's, Maryland.
Philip Rolfing, the former Florida player, the Montana coach, hoping to get a loose ball push call there on St. John's, but unfortunately referees called the out of bounds prior to that occurring, and St. John's will retain possession as Ryan Bailey, the midfielder from St. John's, controls the possession right now.
He gets Tony Satter up top. Tony Satter's going to drive a split step, goes to his left hand, goes back to his right hand. And he's guarded there nicely by the Montana defense, by Willie DeLeus.
It's a pretty fine example right there of what I was just talking about, Sonny. Ryan, a nice dodge right there. The slide comes. No passes made whatsoever. He actually Tony Satter actually just pulls it out and then moves it. Defense resets. St. John's is not able to capitalize or even sort of pressure the Montana defense at all.
Ryan Bailey tried to feed X, and the pass was knocked down and out of bounds. And Montana gets it right back, and they clear it over the midfield line. That's number 33, Ross Klein. He steps it into the top left corner, thinks about feeding to the crease, but he's going to pass it to X. He finds Xander Alt, the junior from John Jay High School in New York. A fine lacrosse program at the prep school ranks. Produced a lot of players playing at a lot of college lacrosse, including the MCLA now. As we go under 11 and a half to play, Montana leads 9-5. Patrick Small has the short stick defender. The midfielder for the Montana has it out top center of the box. Slowly steps in, rolls, goes left, comes back to his right hand, takes a hard bounce shot, bounces out wide right, and Xander Alt backs it up for Montana.
An 18-yard shot there. I'm not sure that's exactly what Coach Roffling and the Montana offense is looking for. Sends that one high over the cage off the bounce shot there, but Montana has been having better luck getting the ball inside. They need to go back to that.
Townsend Hall tries to drive the right goal line extending, tries to feed the crease, and St. John's defense knocks it down. Will Durbin gets the ball, and he outlets over here to Dan Willman with a slow clearing attempt here by St. John's. They finally get Brian Strauss coming over the midfield line. He gets possession of the ball, steps it over the line. He's driving down the left side of the field. He's still outside the box. He had it in his right hand the whole way. Finally gets it behind the goal at X. Long run there by Strauss. Little roll. He loses it when he tries to roll, and the Montana defense cleans that one nicely, and they get it back to Colin Connery and Cage for the Grizz.
Not the possession we're looking for St. John's right there that time. Brian Strauss clears it from inside his own restraining line, carries it all the way to the other end of the field. Doesn't look to pass the ball at all as he runs all the way around to X. He gets stripped. Again, St. John's needs to involve more of the offense and more of their players instead of making this sort of a one-on-one offensive set for them each time. I think each of their players might be trying a little too hard to become sort of the next goal scorer, the guy that's maybe going to help change the momentum. They just need to realize they got to go back to good team offense.
Tucker Sargent passes down to the right goal line extended as Montana has a nice longer procession here. Sam Cameron has the ball at X. He drives around with it in his left hand. He's double teamed. He passes up top to Townsend Hall. Townsend Hall shoots and fires with the left hand at 9:34, giving Montana a 5-goal lead. This game could be slipping away from St. John's. That's his second of the game.
I think until they start making some little different adjustments on defense, it's going to go that way and continue to go that way. Again, way too much stick checking going on. Not enough body. Too much of trying to rip the ball out of the guy's stick. And all that time, an easy little dump that time. Townsend Hall is able to put it right past the goalie's hip that time.
So Montana leads 10-5 with 9:34 remaining. And Montana wins the faceoff. David Malcolm gets it down to Townsend Hall, who steps it in the box here, the top left corner. He's guarded there by Dan Willman. He drives against that pressure, slows it up and passes back to Xander Ault at X.
The 10 goals by Montana so far today, Sonny, we've got 7 different goal scorers for them, so it certainly shows you that they like to spread the ball around. They're involving everyone in their offense. You look at the flip side of that, Montana's not doing the same thing. We need to get them more opportunities to involve everyone in their offense, have more success getting to the cage.
Sam Cameron, the Montana attackman from Washington, tried to drive into a forest of defenders there against St. John's on the right side of the box. He loses the handle. St. John clears it. They get it down to Brian Strauss, evidently, right from the Montana bench. And he's pushed out of bounds and steps on that sideline, turning it back over to Montana with 8:40 remaining in the quarter.
Nice defensive play right there that time, as you just mentioned, by Kevin Stout. Working hard, riding hard. He uses the sideline as a second defender, something very underused by a lot of players out there. You know, if you don't have a chance to double team, then use the sideline. It's just as good as having a second defender out there.
8:40 remains in the quarter. Montana 10, St. John's 5. Pass goes back to Connery in goal. Walks it outside the box as Montana has a slow clear. The long pole brings it over, and Will Freehofer jumps back over that midfield line for the Grizz to keep him on side. They get it to Xander Ault, who steps it in top right corner. Montana's going to reset here. Freehofer fakes a pass to the crease, comes across to Willie DeLuce. Back to Townsend Hall. At X, he has it in his right hand. He beats his defender. He's coming up from X, around the right goal line extended. He tries to pops a shot, but it's off cage right. Will Durbin hops out of there from St. John's defense, tries to beat the guy to the end line, but the Montana attack was one step quicker, and Montana will maintain possession. They try to feed up top from X, and the pass is going to go out of bounds into the St. John's bench. Turning it back over to St. John's at 7:45 of the third quarter. Our score is 10-5 in favor of Montana.
They have just rotated goalies once again, so Will Durbin is going to take a seat. And coming back into the game is Joe Nelson, the starting goalie from earlier in the day. That's for St. John's.
7.5 minute mark. St. John's does get it down. Dan Willman, the long stick, brings it all the way down. He feeds it to Anjoko. Anjoko has it at X. He tries to drive. Checked out of his stick there, but he does get the loose ground ball again. He tries to go back to his left hand. He rolls back to his right as he's on the right goal line extended. Montana defense is playing nice and aggressive. They get the loose ball, but they can't handle it. Gets back to Tony Satter for St. John's. Has in the right side here. He tries to drive against a triple team. He loses the handle. The ball still loose inside the box. A lot of hitting going on, but nobody wants to get the ball. Satter gets it. He has it in his right hand. He raises his hand at the referees wanting the call. The referees won't have any of it. He finally gives it up to Strauss. Strauss has it in his left hand, goes right to his right hand. As he drives from the left, comes back to his left hand.
He's in a real lack of movement all around by St. John's right now.
His shot is picked up in the air by Njoko at X. He tries to come right here on the right side and flick a shot that is knocked out of bounds on the end line, and Montana defenseman's back there to back it up to give it back to Montana with 6:40 remaining in the quarter. Montana clears it. They get it over the line. Mike Petrelli, the defender, gets it across for Montana as they get it down to Xander Ault in the attack unit there for the Grizz. Wes Armstrong.
Montana's setting up in their familiar 2-3-1 offense this time.
Whitney Murphy, the junior from Denver, Colorado, tries a right-handed shot that's way wide. That was a longer shot from about 15 yards away. He was pushed as he was shooting, and didn't have a lot of mustard on that shot, but Xander Ault backs it up for Montana. They get it back to Whitney Murphy. He drives to the left, goal line extended, back to X. He's got the short stick. They go across to Sam Cameron. Sam Cameron tries to feed Xander Ault in the crease. He wasn't paying attention, though. The ball trickles toward the midfield line, and there to clean it up is Townsend Hall. He steps it in the top right corner of the box. He's driving there. He stops on the left goal line extended. Rolls back to X. He passes up top to Will Vollmer, the junior attackman from Cincinnati, Ohio. We go back to Townsend Hall. He has it in his left hand, tries an inside roll on the left goal line extended. He rolls back to X. He was double teamed there. We're approaching the 5-minute mark. Townsend Hall still has it. He does beat his guy, but he gets checked out of his cross there on the left goal line extended. And we have a loose ball push on Montana, giving it back to St. John's at 5:01.
St. John's really needs to find their offense going here. It's been 16-plus minutes since their last goal, which came at 6:21 of the second quarter. So as the third quarter dwindles down here, St. John's still has not found the back of the cage.
St. John's LSM there. Michael Bergeson comes across with it, and finally they get it down to Ryan Bailey, who steps it in the top left corner of the box. He's guarded by the long pole. See the Montana defense getting a little more aggressive here with their checks. They're feeling good about their effort with their lead, taking a few more chances.
I tell you what, they certainly can, because St. John's offense is not involving anybody else. So they can go ahead and just kind of press out and be real aggressive on the ball carry, because he's not really going to move the ball right at this point.
Wes Armstrong gets it across for Montana. He has it in his right hand, gets it in the top right corner of the box. St. John's tried to double, but he maintains possession, and Montana gets it over here to Patrick Small, the top left corner of the box now. We go under 4 minutes to play. Montana 10, St. John's 5. Tucker Sargent gets the ball coming from the midfield line. Tries a left-handed shot, driving, and it's wide left, but backed up by the Montana attack. Sam Cameron tries a dodge here at the left goal line extended, but he rolls back outside. He does roll back to his left hand now. He tries a shot that's on cage, but saved there by Joe Nelson. We have a loose ball on the right side of the box. Who's coming out of there with it? I think they're going to call a loose ball push on St. John's there, so Montana will maintain possession.
Sam Cameron with a nice drive right there. Pulled the ball way out to the wing over here on the left-hand side, being covered by Michael Bergeson. Michael Bergeson has been throwing a lot of lumber out there all day today. Tried to get a nice big wrap check in that time. Came away with nothing. Sam pushes the cage and pipe. But again, looking at the defense, there's Michael Freeman. Need to do a much better job of playing better body position. Stop trying these home run checks at this point.
Patrick Small feeds the crease. They go back up top. And that's number 19, Townsend Hall, the junior from Massachusetts, with his third goal of the game at 3:06. Montana leads 11-5.
Starting to pick apart that defense right now. Got a lot of ball watching. That time, Sam Cameron, who's back at X out there for the attackman, the ball redirects to him at X. He looks through as the defense rotates to him. There's Townsend Hall standing up top by himself, able to take a couple steps as he comes in and fires a shot over top of Joe Nelson, increases this lead to 6.
C.J. Bowen comes down on attack, substituting after that goal. He joins the Montana attack unit.
Cameron takes the rest. That's his second assist of the day for Sam Cameron.
David Malcolm gets the loose ball on the faceoff for Montana. So Montana goes to work here with a 6-goal lead. They work left to right across the radio dial as we go under the 3-minute mark. You see Will Durbin warming up down here for the St. John's goalie, so I don't know if he's going to make another change. Kind of rare in a championship event, don't you think, to have playing two goalies that have been undefeated this year. If they're still playing both goalies at this point in the season, you think that they would have decided on one guy or the other.
Yeah, I think that was all ruined by Steve Spurrier years ago. You going to stick with that double quarterback set, double goalies. It's worked for him this point. I mean, the team's undefeated. They're certainly running into a little bit of a buzzsaw right now with the Montana offense. I think the St. John's defense maybe hasn't been tested like this all season. They're not responding the way they probably would like to see. Montana's actually now going to invert, burning some time off the clock as number 10, Willie DeLewis, decides to go invert behind, and he feeds.
Yep, he feeds number 25, C.J. Bonin, the junior from Boulder, Colorado, scores with 2:07 his second of the game. Little bounce shot, give and go. He drew the double team from the crease. The slide came. He found the guy, and he buries the bounce shot to give Montana a 7-goal lead now.
Brandon Brinkman, short stick midi for St. John's, was taken behind that time. Nice drive into the cage by Willie DeLewis. Nice job looking backside. The entire defense swarmed into the crease to the attacking side. Easy assist for him to have. Easy assist for him to have on the backside of the pipe.
This game reminds me of the national championship last year when St. John's lost and it just started getting away from them. They never really could get an offensive presence when they were playing San Diego last year.
No, I mean, Townsend Hall is certainly becoming a threat down there right now. I don't know if they're maybe concentrating a little too much on Xander Alt, but Townsend's got 3 goals and an assist now. But if the Montana defense or Montana offense is having a lot of success against this sort of overpressured, not real disciplined defense of St. John's right now.
Montana wins the next faceoff. They get it down to the attack. They're burning this clock. St. John's is going to have to come out and pressure. They're going to have a chance to get in this game in the fourth quarter.
That'll play right into the hands of Montana, unfortunately, for St. John's. I think St. John's would like to play a little more, laid-back defense here in terms of tucking it in, but they're going to have to pressure out to get possessions.
Kevin Stout tries a drive, and he pops a shot from about 8 yards away, but it's saved by the St. John's defense, and they'll clear left to right. Right to left.
25, Brendan Harrington bringing the ball up for the St. John's offense. Not having any success in terms of getting guys to show for the ball for him to give him a help to get out. But that time he actually gets it down to number 27, Dan Gregus. But he unfortunately turns it right back over. And now we've got, going to have a little extracurricular activity right here.
Will Freehofer is absolutely mugged by 3 St. John's players right at the midfield line.
Now one guy in front of him made the play on that time. It was 3 guys trailing from behind. I've been watching a little bit here. We've got a freshman in Ryan Bailey who's got a little bit of skill here, but he's been getting pretty frustrated the last couple possessions. In fact, he was the one that loose ball push was on here low in the corner, Sonny. He got up and decided to get in the face of a Montana player. This time, he's the one accused of the loose ball push, or mugging, I should say.
Should be a hold. It is a hold. Goes on Ryan Bailey right here, the freshman from Arden Hills, Minnesota.
I think Ryan's showing a little bit of his immaturity right now on a big stage right here. He just needs to keep his composure. Kid's got a little bit of game in him. Team could use him down the stretch right now. You can see he's frustrated. His coach is saying something to him, and he's still showing a little bit of frustration there on the sideline.
Absolutely. Had something to say to the players. He got up, but he sits in the box, and Montana with that big lead goes back to work on their extra man. They work it off to my right here. The Grizz in control here in the Division B National Championship game. Xander Auld has it here on the left side in his right hand. He drives back to X.
They rotate back to a 2-2-2 or 3-3 offensive set right now.
Goes all the way across. They try skip pass. Tried to thread the needle there, finding Townsend Hall here on the left side, but that's knocked down by the Johnnies defense. Townsend Hall does get the loose ball. He feeds up top. Will Freehofer takes a nice shot, but it's high over the goal.
Yeah, a little too far out, I think, for the Montana offense. All the success has come within about 6 yards of the cage. They need to get back into that, trying to dump inside and get their looks that way.
4, 3, 2, and 1, and there's the horn. That brings this third quarter to a close. It was a good one for Montana. They lead 12-5 after 45 minutes of play. We'll be right back with the final quarter from the Division B National Championship at Pizza Hut Park.
The game of lacrosse is growing. And with it, a league to support the passion. Nine conferences, 2 divisions, and nearly 200 institutions. A league of truly national scope, from California to Carolina. An association of devotion, of exhilaration, and of passion. This is the MCLA, and these are its faces.
Back to the final quarter of the Division B National Championship. Our score is Montana 12, St. John's 5. Let's take a look at the statistics through 3 quarters of play.
Real quick, face-offs are just about even, with Montana holding a 1 8-point edge on that one, 7-6 in their favor. Ground balls are favoring Montana, 24-16. Shots are actually pretty even, 25-23. But if you think about it, they've got 12 goals on the day right here. If they're scoring about half their shots, that does not bode well for any team. And saves are a slight favorite to Montana, 6-4.
A loose ball hold on the faceoff gives St. John the first possession of the final quarter. Tony Satter drives to X, and he loses the handle immediately. And he has a few words with the Montana defenseman there as he gets up, but Montana gets it back, and they clear it over the midfield line into their offensive half of the field. Zanderalt has had a good day, good tournament, 14.5 minutes to play. They have the 7-goal lead, possession of the ball. Looking to wrap up their first ever Division B National Championship.
I think you're going to see a nice long possession here from Montana, most likely. I think they just want to keep frustrating and tiring out this defense. Seems like the last couple possessions are kind of scoring when they want. You know, St. John's defense is getting, look, they got 3 guys after the ball right now. They actually get away with the check that time, which works for
Wes
them.
Armstrong loses.
But they're going to have
stick.
a loose ball push here, unfortunately.
Loose ball push. St. John's defense triple team Wes Armstrong, the midfielder for Montana, right out here on the right side of the box, and they were going to get the ball, but they committed a loose ball push, keeping the ball right down here for Montana. Wes Armstrong throws the ball away. And now we have a loose ball push going the opposite way against Montana, giving it to St. John's. So St. John's will try and clear the ball here. That's Dan Willman, the defenseman, gets it over the midfield line, and Townsend Hall greeted him there at the midfield line.
With a little bit of a horse collar there, unfortunately. He didn't bring a welcome basket of goodies there. He brought a nice little horse collar, and the official's going to put him in the penalty box for 30 seconds.
For a slash. So this time the foul's 13:50. 13:50 remains in the contest. Montana leads by 7, but St. John's will get an EMO chance here to try and cut that lead down a little bit.
Official's doing a nice job trying to make sure that things don't get a little out of hand here. I know it's going to get a little chippy. Anytime you have a championship game and a sizable lead like this, you got to be worried about these things.
We have a shot, and St. John's backs it up there. Missed the number, but St. John's attackman, number 26, backs it up, and the Johnnies will attack from X. They try to feed the crease to Dan Grigas. Ball's knocked down by the Montana defense, and he picks it up. Connery picks the loose ball up. He outlets up here to the midfield line, but the ball is going to go out of bounds off of Montana attackman, giving it back to St. John's. David Malcolm was trying to get the loose ball on the far side of the field there, but he couldn't handle it, and it goes out of bounds, giving it to the Johnnies.
The first touch by St. John's there on offense. They came down, had one pass, and took about a 14-yard shot. Not what you need to do right now. Again, it's only going to be 1 point at a time. Take your time, set up your man up, get the right look, get your fourth quarter started off right. And right now we got the man up, and the defenseman's bringing the ball down, and
Dan Woolman,
just wasting time now.
Was looking for some help and holding that ball. He needs to get it down to the attack, get off the field, and let somebody else come down with a short stick so they can work the offense. Ryan Bailey here goes up top to Brian Strauss, but his shot is wide, and the Johnnies back it up.
A little bit of patience that time. Good ball movement, got the 5-man rotation a little scattered, able to get off a nice-looking shot right there by Brian Strauss, but just off cage that time.
Penalty's almost up. We're in the final few seconds of it. Tony Satter tries to roll inside and shoot, but it's knocked out of his cross, and Montana defense picks it up. They clear it right to left. They get it over the midfield line. Patrick Small gets it to Xander Alt. Xander Alt is pushed at the midfield line, tries to fall over the line, but he loses the handle and flicks it back toward his offensive goal, and we have a loose ball here that's picked up by the Montana attackman Sam Cameron, and he's going to back it all the way to X. Smart little play there by Cameron. Try and work some more of that clock as we go under 12.5 minutes to play.
Nice individual defensive play right there by Dan Willman from St. John's. Gets the strip, and St. John's will look to clear the ball to get another offensive possession.
Dan Willman gets it to Strauss, Brian Strauss comes over the midfield line to try and clear the ball for the Johnnies, but it's checked out of his stick immediately by Tucker Sargent when he got over the midfield line. St. John's fans didn't like the play there. Thought a hold call should have been called, but St. John's will retain possession. They do get it back to X. And a 11 and a half to play. St. John's down by 7, needing some offense here.
Jocko and Strauss playing a little two-man game right now.
The shot on the crease is backed up by Anjako.
Van Ivory getting off a nice little shot inside that time, but a nice save by Connery.
Anjako steps it in on the end line. Montana bench exhorting their teammates and their defense. There's a behind-the-back shot by 26, Dan Bruschi. He drove to the crease, beat 2 guys, didn't have much of an angle, tried to go behind the back. It goes off the top bar. Loose ball is picked up outside here by the Montana midfielders, and number 51, Tucker Sargent, gets it in the top left corner of the box for the Grizzlies.
Nice effort right there on Sargent. The ground ball. It was a one-on-one ground ball. Sargent first. First Ryan Bailey. Ryan Bailey was sort of a lackluster effort right there. Sargent sort of exerts his face-off abilities that time with a little ground ball and comes away with it. Now Montana will try to burn some more time off the clock.
Under 11 minutes to play. Montana 12, St. John's 5. St. John's Johnnies are undefeated to this point, but they're down by 7 in the final quarter of play here.
There's Ryan Bailey, unfortunately, another little unsportsmanlike play right there in the box, Sonny. Freshman kid right there, a little immaturity, decided to take out the Montana player in the substitution. That's the kind of stuff that coach needs to speak to him about. You don't want to show that kind of thing for your program.
Loose ball comes out here top right corner. That's Will Freehofer. He's double teamed. He loses the handle, but there to pick it up for him is Willie DeLucius. He passes back in the box as they were coming up against the 10-second fair to advance call.
St. John's gets the possession here. Nice clear. They step it in. They're over 27 minutes now without a goal. They're still sitting at the 5-goal spot right now. See what they can generate here to hopefully maybe cut this lead in half.
There's a shot by Strauss. Backed up by Anjoko. A bounce shot. Stopped on the field. Anjoko scoops up the ground ball. He's guarded there at X. He goes back up top. Little stutter step by Strauss. His bounce shot is knocked down by the Montana keeper.
Great save right there by Connery at his feet. Great look.
He tries an outlet pass that goes over the head of the midfielder and is going out of bounds on the far sideline. At his state, keeps in bounds. Montana gets it top left corner. They're crashing the crease. That's number 19, Townsend Hall. He rolls back to X. And they get it up to Will Freehofer, who slows it down for Montana as we go under 9 minutes to play.
Montana slowing it down very much right now. They're just touching it in the box, standing out wide, catching their breath, trying to slip their offense. They're not in any rush right now, enjoying a 7-goal lead. The pressure's not on them. The pressure's on St. John's, and they're going to go into an invert set right now.
There's a shot, hits the pipe. That's number 10, Willie DeLucius. And he ricochets one off the left pipe with a right-handed shot.